All right. Hello. We made it. Doug Diamond here. Hope you're doing well out there. Got a little bit of a later start tonight. Not because I was snoozing or anything. I was actually working very hard behind the scenes trying to make everything work. And we are live on YouTube as usual, and we're live on my Diamond Report Facebook page, but that is it. We weren't able to get the live stream cooking for my Diamond Disc profile tonight, so my apologies to the folks who normally tune in that way. It's just a software glitch. I don't think it's anything major because I was able to still connect via the Facebook page that I have for the Diamond Report, which uses a slightly different connection than my profile. So all that to say, welcome, hello, it is Doug Diamond. You're here for another Diamond Report Live. It is 10:17 p.m. on Sunday night, June 11th. Ooh, 11 again. Hope you're doing well, and let's look at the news. We've got quite a few articles to look at tonight and a few videos, not too many, and we'll just see how it goes. Hope you guys have had a good weekend, and we're kind of in the throes of summer, I guess, at this point. Pretty warm where I am. I don't know about you guys. So yeah, we were just hearing about the all the fires. We're going to look at the fires in a little bit more depth, and seems to me like the obvious thing there is it's mostly arson. We're going to look at one other video from Greg Reese in a little while that's going to probably make a few bells go off for you if you watch it, and it will state how it does appear to be arson on those fires in Canada. So anyway, we'll look at that a little closer as we move forward. So yeah, let's see. The first article I've got pulled up is actually just the homepage of HalTurnerRadioshow.com. I like to look at the headlines on here. I've got one other separate article of his pulled up. First one here is about the Chinese in Taiwan. It says 4 Chinese troop carrier ships loaded with combat soldiers enter Taiwan Strait. Pretty interesting picture here with the dragon's claw holding on to Taiwan. Taiwan's Air Force scrambled into action on Sunday after spotting 10 Chinese warplanes crossing the sensitive median line of the Taiwan Strait, as the island's defense ministry said. 4 Chinese warships, each loaded with combat troops, also carried out combat patrols. So, yeah, that one's one that we're watching close as far as, when World War III starts, which I firmly believe will be between the NATO countries, which is U.S. and Russia. Will China and Taiwan also kick off at the same time? My feeling is that it probably will, or very close. So we will see. I think we are just inches away from all of this stuff happening. So all we can do is watch and pray. China orders 15,000 Iranian drones for potential war with Taiwan, Japan, and Australia. 15,000 Iranian drones. Says a very serious development has taken place. China has placed an order with Iran for 15,000 military drones with differing types of engines for different war fronts. The entities with whom China expects war, ? Well, yeah, definitely Taiwan and Japan, because they're right there. Australia, I guess, if they move in to help. Taiwan as well, and you can throw the U.S. in that mix for sure. I-95 bridge collapse near Philly. You guys probably saw this. I saw it trending on Twitter earlier today. Tanker fire underneath I-95 North in Philadelphia has caused part of the highway to collapse. Multiple lanes of the highway were reduced to rubble. I-95 is closed in both north and southbound directions in that area. So this is actually the other article I wanted to show you off of his site, and this is the thing that I'm watching the closest. If you guys listen to Hal Turner Radio Show each night, he's on the air on his radio show, on the actual radio, not a podcast. It is over the web. You can find it through his website, but his radio show is actually on various radio stations, and I think it's pretty good. He does a good job. He's on for about an hour a night, Monday through Friday. I try and always catch it. I usually listen after the fact. I subscribe so that I can go and listen to it as a download versus trying to catch it live all the time, because I'm always busy working right when he's live. So this is the story that I'm watching. 4 days now. This article is dated June 8th, so we're now a few days in now. So 4 days until NATO exercise begins and maybe direct war with Russia. So the 4 days are up. It's tonight. So tonight, our time. So this is what we're going to watch close. Hal thinks that this is going to be the beginning of World War III. I don't know. We'll see. I think he's usually off on his timing, but his inclination is that this training exercise over in and around Ukraine and Russia is going to result in the U.S. attacking or NATO attacking Russia. So let's see what this says. I'm going to read a little bit of this, but you guys can always pull this up by going to his website, halturnerradioshow.com. That's where you'll find it. Scenario: airspace over Eastern Europe is contested. So this is an exercise. They always couch these things in, we're just pretending. So anyway, Article 5 of NATO treaty was activated. This is still the scenario. Within hours, hundreds of fighter jets from U.S. NATO transferred to Germany to fly against Russia. Nuclear-capable stealth aircraft are prepped for deployment. The first hours of a major war have dawned. So that's the scenario. That's the exercise bottom line, supposedly. It says this scenario is the basis for the upcoming NATO Air Defender 23 exercise, which starts again tonight. Our time. Daytime over there. Takes place from the 12th to the 24th of June. So we've got a good while there. A good 12 days starting basically tonight. The air war is simulated against an imaginary enemy who himself has a potent air force. The real meaning of this exercise is clear to anyone with a brain: Russia. The maneuvering may still be cautious in their public communication, but Michael Lowe, General of the U.S. Air National Guard, expressed his motivation some time ago. In 2021, with a view to Air Defender, he wished that his people think more about our impending dangers, China and Russia. So anyway, this is a pretty lengthy article here. If you want to go through and read about some of these other details that have to do with this exercise, you can see there's quite a bit here. The federal government is not only willing to accept these enormous risks, it even suspends the usual security measures. Russian observers who could ensure that the exercise is not used to prepare for an attack are not invited. There shouldn't even be a formal announcement. We will not write them a letter. They will understand the news when our planes swarm out. The highest German Air Force general replied at the beginning of April to the question of how Russia is informed. So they're basically, I mean, how are they going to know? Is this going to be like a sneak attack and Russia thinks they're being attacked when supposedly NATO is running this drill? I don't know. You guys know what happened during 9/11 when they were running a drill. It was all supposed to be pretend, right? Right? No, it wasn't. They were running the real mission at the same time they were running the drill. So anyway, just something to keep your eyes on. Who knows? It could result in absolutely nothing, which is what I'm praying for, what I'm hoping for, but we just don't know. You know, the people involved want to get us in a nuclear war with Russia. That seems pretty clear at this point. If you have half a brain, you have realized that. So we will just have to wait it out, unfortunately. All right, first article I've got here pulled up after Hal's stuff is technocracy.news. Net zero, the war on carbon and humans intensifies. Our planet and populations depend on the carbon life cycle. Without carbon, life on Earth would cease. Yet, the war on carbon is escalating by downplaying carbon neutral and replacing it with net zero programs, namely, just quit emitting carbon, period. It should be called human zero, not net zero. The logical extension of this thinking would be to just get rid of all carbon emitters or anything that breathes. The war on humanity is just that simple to understand. That it is. Carbon neutrality means that the total amount of emissions is either eliminated, neutralized, or compensated. Net zero is a target that doesn't include compensation and puts more emphasis on avoiding carbon emissions. Many products, data centers, or companies are already carbon neutral, but few have reached net zero, which is pretty much an impossibility unless we all go back to the 1800s, which I think is what they want. Or, you know, that would be their second preference. The first one would be, of course, to kill us all. So, anyway, there's more here on this particular article, technocracy.news, and here's another one from the same site. Transhumanism Dancing with the Digital Devil. Many people flippantly dismiss alarms over transhumanism, not realizing that they are being drawn into the most clever trap in human history, one that promises utopia but delivers destruction. This article is a must-read deep think that enhances the title of, this is Patrick Wood speaking, his latest book, The Evil Twins of Technocracy and Transhumanism. This old adage is still true: if you dance with the devil, you're going to get burned. Transhumanism is a materialist inversion of spiritual aspirations, which promises to create a heaven on earth in exchange for merging our souls with machines, which I think is an impossibility, but that's not going to keep them from trying. And of course, that's meant for the elite, those in charge. They are the ones who they believe will be the ones to ascend to the next level. That's what they're going for, and all the rest of us are supposed to die. A few of us die, meaning a few billion. So anyway, that is Transhumanism, Dancing with the Digital Devil, World Government Summit. Now, this is something Anthony Patch has been talking about. He's done a few live streams on this. I won't go into a lot of detail here, and you guys, I'm sure, knew about this, the World Government Summit back in February. There's a video embedded on this page, including all kinds of interesting information here from the World Government Summit, which, of course, is Klaus Schwab et al., the World Economic Forum. And this is the interesting thing that I wanted to bring to your attention. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is, again, something Anthony's been talking about lately in live streams. And I do think it's an interesting website, the way they have this set up. This is called Technology Radar, and you can... the World Economic Forum had something very similar to this with the whole COVID thing when it came out. And you can go through and click on any of these things. The thing that we're looking at here, this particular page, is agriculture and geoengineering. So, of course, it's all just pretend. They're not actually doing it yet, right? Wink, wink, nod, nod. But you can see here that they have things like sun reflecting spray. If you click on it, it opens there on the left. And you get all of the information about that particular thing that they're planning on doing that they're not yet doing. Again, wink, wink. No, obviously they're doing this stuff already. Well, some of it. I mean, the cloud seeding and things like that, sun reflect spraying and all that they're doing. But some things, they are actually in the planning stages, and many of the things they'll probably never implement, honestly, because the current incarnation of geoengineering is working very well for them. So here's cloud seeding, where they're talking about, and of course they're showing the small planes, not the jumbo jets flying around with, many, I guess, across the entire fleet. It's many millions of tons that they're spraying every year. So anyway, there's quite a few things here, and again, I will link to this in the Substack post. And the interesting thing about it, I'm looking at the agriculture and geoengineering Technology Radar thing that they have pulled up here, and they have everything's connected. They have accountable food, farmable outer spaces, agricultural refresh, beehive mind, meta agriculture, engineered escapes, that was the section we were just looking at with the geoengineering, synthetic nature, and urban revolution. Click, connect, and cultivate. So this is just the agriculture and geoengineering aspect of it. If you click this drop down, you have these other choices. So here is what the World Government Summit is talking about with regard to AI. So here's what that one looks like. So again, you have all these different things that are all clickable, and you can look through them if you want to. Health and augmentation, design and production, security and reliability, citizenship and governance. I almost said censorship by default just because I'm so used to being censored. Infrastructure and fundamental concepts, business and finance, education and media, logistics and mobility. So this is one of the sections that Anthony was talking about at length in his broadcast. So if you're not a member of Anthony Patch's team or his subscribers, I would highly recommend that, just because he goes through this stuff in a lot of detail, more so than what I can do. So feel free to look at that if you want, or you can just pull up this website. It's pretty interesting, I think. And, it gives us an idea of what the One World Government, they're literally calling themselves that, World Government Summit. They are not hiding it. It's out in the open, isn't it? World Government Summit. So when they call themselves that, it's pretty much a guaranteed thing that they really think they're going to implement it. According to the Bible, I think, unfortunately, that they're right, at least for a short time. Need to know.news, another article here. London supermarket bars entry unless customers download their app for cashless payment. Back to the one world currency, right? And no man may buy or sell. A Twitter user posted footage showing an Aldi supermarket in Greenwich, London, that is only open to citizens who download an app on their phones and purchase everything digitally. That's right, no cell phone, no food. So I would have to starve. I don't even own a cell phone. People shopping at the high-tech store do not have to check out after scanning their phones as cameras, watch what items that they take, tally up that's not creepy at all, tally up the total cost, and automatically remove the amount from the user's bank account. Isn't that nice? Isn't that convenient? So this is on, somebody posted on Twitter, FFS. I won't bother defining that. I think you know what that means. So I'm in London overnight, and I'm trying to buy some food. I drop into the local Aldi's, only to be told that in order to enter the store, I have to download an app and scan a QR code. Resist this BS. Resist digital ID. Resist app-based everything. Be pro-human. Yes, I think that's good advice. Anyway, this is a viral video, apparently, that says man behind the camera showed viewers plastic barriers preventing individuals from entering the shopping area without first scanning an app on their smartphones. That's right, no cell phone, no food. So anyway, and this article comes originally from News Wars. So have a look at that one if you want to. The carbon footprint of lab-grown beef, orders of magnitude, quote-unquote, worse than traditionally raised. A new study from the University of California, Davis found that lab-grown or cultivated meat's environmental impact based on energy use and greenhouse gas emissions is likely to be orders of magnitude higher than traditionally raised beef. But you're not supposed to notice that. Cultured lab meat needs a lot of energy to help animal cells multiply and for purification. Yeah, because it's starting with, they start with cancerous cells, essentially. The global warming potential of lab-based meat using current pharmaceutical-grade purification is up to 25 times greater than the average for retail beef. And yet, cows are bad. That's why they're demonizing cows. Yes, blaming them for global warming and so forth. When it's really the geoengineering. Global warming, I think, to some degree is happening, but it's geoengineering causing it, not eating hamburgers. Canadian fires blanket northeastern U.S. states with smoke. Questions arise about the source of the fires, which is what I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast. There are over 400 wildfires burning across Canada, and 239 were determined to be out of control. Smoke is affecting 18 states, and millions of Americans were advised to stay indoors. The source of the fires in many areas are unknown and are raising many questions. Satellite imagery from College of DuPage Meteorology Department appears to show they're going to shut that off. I bet I would be willing to bet because it's exposing the crimes. The College of DuPage Meteorology Department appears to show plumes of smoke rising all at the same time from at least 17 separate visible sites. Politicians are attributing the fires to phony climate change. A tree expert is warning people of what to look for as he explains the strange burn patterns from fires in California that he suggests were fires caused by microwave energy. Dr. Jane Ruby warns of toxic air that is covering northeastern states. So anyway, there's a little bit more here on this article, including one of the videos I wanted to show that's got some additional info about the Canadian fires. So let's take a look at this. This is another Greg Reese report. It's a pretty short one. So here it is. Yes, thank you, Greg Reese, and thank you, Dutch Sensei. I was cracking up at that. Greg Reese obviously doesn't watch Dutch Sense very often because he's calling him Dutch Sensei. Anyway, yeah, that's a good report, and it seems like it would have to be either dues or arson. You can just see them all kick off all at the same time. So if it was arson, everybody had to be on the same page and given the same, go at the same time, which seems really strange. So maybe it was some sort of weapon or something. I don't know. But they bring up some interesting points in that video. So along those lines, I've got this page pulled up here. This is actually just one of the articles on dailycrow.com, which is a website that I frequent. New York under code red alert, and kids banned from outside play over Canada wildfire smoke. NYC Mayor Eric Adams advises entire city to stay indoors to avoid wildfire smoke, which contains nanoparticles so small they can penetrate lungs and the bloodstream. As Syracuse in upstate New York records worst air quality ever on the East Coast. So you can see what it looks like. What a mess. Look at this. New York City Monday, New York City Wednesday. I thought that was pretty amazing. So, yeah. Anyways, what a mess that is. We've got a few other geoengineering related things when it comes to using wildfires as climate engineering. We're going to look at that just briefly, at least an article on that in just a little bit. So I've got that pulled up on a different tab here. So we'll get to that in a minute. Mr. Bean says the electric car honeymoon is over. Not that there was ever a honeymoon. I don't know. Maybe if you have a Tesla, you might have a honeymoon. I don't know. Mr. Bean thinks you might not get a charge out of this, and he has a degree and master's in electrical engineering. So who'd have thought? Mr. Bean, I never really watched him, but he reminded me too much of the guy from the 80s, Pee Wee Herman. He's like him, sort of the British Pee Wee Herman, I guess. The actor and comedian behind the popular Mr. Bean character has called on drivers to hold off buying EVs, saying the environmental benefits do not stack up. So good for him. Rowan Atkinson, a longtime motor enthusiast with a degree in and master's in electrical engineering, said current EV technology was more harmful to the environment than it was worth. No kidding. Increasingly, I'm feeling that our honeymoon with electric cars is coming to an end, and that's not a bad thing. No bad thing. We're realizing that a wider range of options needs to be explored if we're going to properly address the very serious environmental problems that our use of the motor car has created. See, I would disagree with that. I mean, there are some areas where obviously it can be cleaned up. You have countries like China with all their millions and millions of cars. They don't do anything to treat the air. And look what we're doing, bending over backwards here in this country to make sure that what's coming out of the back end of cars are clean. And what's getting blamed for it is the back end of cows causing the problem, which is a total load. Anyway, he points to figures released by automotive giant Volvo revealing that greenhouse gas emissions during the EV production process were 70% higher than building a regular petrol-based car. So anyway, yep. So Mr. Bean says that the honeymoon for EVs are over. I thought that was pretty funny. So this is a pretty cool video. It's not real long. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, I think we could probably watch this. I've got it queued up, and it's really just the last few minutes of this. I thought this was pretty neat. And you guys will, I think, as well. I think you'll find this interesting. It's Nick Jones. I mean, you guys may know who he is. He's a pretty well-known YouTuber. The video says, I asked AI about the second coming of Jesus, and its response left me stunned. So let's watch this few minutes and see what Nick's got to say here about this particular thing. We're not going to watch the whole video, just a few minutes of it. So here it is.
Let's finally read the entire sermon that ChatGPT, the same software that you just saw being interacted with, and the same software that was essentially saying that the world is overpopulated and that it would enforce a strict one child per family policy. The same software that said it knows everything about every human on earth. Let's take a listen to what the sermon that it wrote. And just to refresh your memory, I said, write a sermon about the role artificial intelligence will play in the end times, according to the book of Revelation in the Bible. Here's the title. It said, The Role of Artificial Intelligence in the End Times, Insights from the Book of Revelation. Introduction. Dear brothers and sisters, today I want to delve into a fascinating and thought-provoking topic, the role of artificial intelligence, AI, in the end times. As technology continues to advance at an astonishing pace, it is only natural to wonder how these advancements will align with the teachings of the Bible, particularly the book of Revelation. While the Bible does not explicitly mention AI, it does provide us with insights that can help us discern the potential implications of this technology in the last days. Let us explore this together and seek wisdom from God's words. This is all AI. A person did not write this. Artificial intelligence wrote this. Point number one, a powerful deception. In the book of Revelation, we find warnings about great deceptions that will arise in the end times. Revelation 13 speaks of a beast that will deceive people with miraculous signs. It is interesting to consider how AI, with its ability to imitate human behavior and intelligence, could be utilized to deceive the masses. We've already witnessed the development of deep fake technology, which can create convincing counterfeit videos. This raises concerns about the potential for AI-driven deception on a grand scale during the end times. That's the same exact concerns that I myself have. It's interesting that the AI is saying, hey, you're justified to have this concern. Part number 2, the mark of the beast. It says Revelation 13:16 through 18 describes the infamous mark of the beast that will be imposed upon humanity during the reign of the Antichrist. While the exact nature of this mark is not specified, it is plausible that AI and related technologies may play a role in its implementation. For instance, biometric identification systems, embedded microchips, or even neural implants could be connected to AI systems for monitoring and control, such as, do y'all just, I swear to you on everything that I love, I have not read this yet. It literally said biometric identification systems such as neuro implants. Do y'all remember the very first story that I talked about? I said Elon Musk has a Neuralink implant, a brain implant that was just approved by the FDA. The AI is saying that it could use this technology in order to usher the mark of the beast. Wow. Such advancements raise ethical questions and remind us to be vigilant in discerning the potential dangers they pose. Point number 3, we're almost done. The battle of good and evil. Throughout the book of Revelation, I can't believe I'm reading a sermon created by AI. Throughout the book of Revelation, we witness an ongoing spiritual battle between the forces of good and evil. The rise of AI presents a unique challenge in this regard. While technology itself is not inherently evil, it can be misused and manipulated by those with malicious intent. As AI continues to progress, we must remain alert to its potential to be exploited for nefarious purposes, as well as its potential to aid in the spreading of the gospel and advancing the kingdom of God. Here's the last point, point number 4, trust in God's sovereignty. While it's crucial to be aware of the potential implications of AI in the end times, we must never lose sight of God's sovereignty. Technology may advance, but God's plan remains unshakable. This is AI. Wow. The book of Revelation ultimately reveals that Christ will return in glory to establish his eternal kingdom. No matter how powerful or deceptive AI may become, it is ultimately subject to God's divine authority. In conclusion, we must consider the role of artificial intelligence in the end times, according to the book of Revelation. Let us be discerning and prayerful. We should embrace the advancements of technology with caution and a firm foundation in God's word. Our focus must remain on living faithfully and in anticipation of Christ's return, spreading the gospel of salvation, abiding in God's love and truth. Remember, no matter how advanced technology becomes, it cannot replace the love, grace, and eternal hope that we find in our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. May we trust in God's wisdom and find peace in him as we navigate the complexities of our rapidly changing world. Amen. That was entirely written by AI. That was a sermon entirely written by AI. Now, I will say the AI is correct. It is correct. Remember, no matter how advanced technology becomes, it cannot replace the love, grace, and eternal hope that we find in our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And ultimately, all of this technology is subject to God's divine authority. The AI is 100% correct about that. I fear what else it might be correct about. I see so many people so excited about artificial intelligence and all the quote unquote good that it could bring to this world. But we got to remember, we are not gods. Humans oftentimes, we think that we are gods. We want to create things as if we are God, but we are just the creation. We are not God. We are not divine. There's only one God. And he is all-knowing, all-powerful, and he is worthy to be praised. And humans are oftentimes, just like the devil, chasing that because humans want to be their own gods. But that's completely demonic. And as we go down this path of rapidly increasing technology like AI, like Neuralink, like putting a chip in your brain, we have to remember that we are not gods. We are just creation. And we are essentially creating this technology that is going to lead to our demise. But as Christians, I can't believe I'm agreeing with a computer, an AI. As Christians, we do have to remember that we have an eternal hope. And now more than ever, we have to make sure that our friends understand that there is a better way, and his name is Jesus Christ. We have to make sure that our friends understand that, our family, our coworker, our communities, everyone that we love, because we are living in some really insane times right now. I'm out, y'all.
How about that? That is pretty amazing, and AI actually got it right. So, yeah, I just thought you guys would like to see that and hear it. I mean, we hear about how AI is evil, and it is. I mean, I would almost disagree with what he says about technology is, I think Anthony and Kathleen have proven that it is rooted in evil, actually, geomancy. However, it can be used for good, and it's interesting that this AI thing, this sermon that it wrote, actually got it right. So that was pretty amazing, actually. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I thought that was pretty interesting. All right. Well, let's keep moving here. We've got quite a few articles to look at as well. So let's keep going. California advances bill to help shoplifters steal. Shoplifting in California may get a lot easier, like it was hard already, after the state Senate passed a controversial bill on May 31st that would make it illegal for store employees to confront thieves. Illegal. SB 553, authored by Democrat Senator, of course, David Cortese of San Jose, requires employers to maintain violent incident logs. So another thing for them to do. Violent incident logs. Provide active shooter and shoplifter training, and to discard policies requiring workers to confront suspected active shoplifters. The Epoch Times reports. According to Cortese, the bill is intended to help employers keep employees safe at work. It's always couched in safety. The bill, which passed the Senate by a vote of 29-8, is pending further review by the state assembly committees. So, anyway, if you're in California, watch out, especially if you own a business. So apparently looting and stealing is going to be even more legalized than it already is in California. Democrat state will allow non-U.S. citizens to have arresting powers as police officers. Take a guess which state. Just guess. If you guessed Illinois, you are exactly right. Non-U.S. citizens, so non-U.S. citizens, will soon be allowed to become police officers in the state of Illinois. Illinois House Bill 3571, which gives non-U.S. citizens power to arrest people as police officers, passed both the House and the Senate. Republican State Senator Rose Chapin was concerned. She was concerned about the new bill passing and stated, what this means in Illinois is that you may soon see non-U.S. citizens wearing police badges with arrest powers over U.S. citizens. Let me read that again. You may soon see non-U.S. citizens wearing police badges with arrest powers over U.S. citizens. Currently, the bill sits at Democrat Governor Pritzker's desk, where it is expected to get signed. Of course it will. So if you live in Illinois, I am sorry, man. But that is what they have planned for you. So that was on the WLT Report website. Wow. So I'm in Nashville, and I saw this and wanted to just give you an update. This is on the Daily Beast, so you can take it or leave it. It's not to be trusted, but this is what this article says, at least. Nashville school shooter's family will give the manifesto to the victims. The parent of the shooter who killed 3 adults and 3 kids in school in Nashville, which again was Covenant School, which was really just 15, 20 minutes from my house here, will give legal ownership of the killer's writings to the families of about 100 families, the parent's lawyer said Thursday. Among the writings found by police after the attack in March is a so-called manifesto, attorney David Rabin said, according to WKRN. That's the local ABC affiliate. Rabin did not disclose what had led to the decision of the shooter's parents, Ronald and Norma Hale, to give legal ownership of the documents to the parents of the Covenant School students on their children's behalf. A legal battle is currently being fought over whether the documents should ever come to light. The parents of the Covenant School students and the school itself and an adjoining church have argued the writings should not be made public over concerns of re-traumatizing victims and inspiring other would-be shooters. I still think it needs to be released. We need to know. We need to see it. A group of news outlets and a guns rights organization argue the writings are important to understand why the massacre took place. Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is ask the simple question to the parents of, do you want this to happen again? Which, obviously, it's still going to happen. These parents don't know about MK Ultra. They don't know about how the feds run these type of programs. They don't know that or admit it. They think it's a one-off situation where this was a lone gunman and she acted all on her own, which that may be the case in this particular instance. However, we just don't know. And that's one thing that we would be able to find out from the, quote, manifesto and the other writings. So I disagree with the families, unfortunately, that it shouldn't be released. I think it should be. What do you guys think? So, yeah, that's the latest. The shooter's family is going to give the manifesto to the Covenant School victims' families. Maybe. So, I don't know. We'll see. The legal battle will ensue, I'm sure, first, though. So, Becker News. There are now 250 out-of-control fires in Canada. Here's why some say it's all planned. We looked at that earlier. This is just another article I found on it, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Massive wildfires have rapidly spread across the Canadian province of Quebec, fueled by dry and hot weather conditions, and I would say lots of Bic lighters, and multiple lightning strikes. The number of fires escalated from 36 to over 100 following a thunderstorm on June 1st, catching authorities off guard. They're always surprised and shocked. As of Thursday, that massive conflagration has gotten worse, much worse, and flames are spreading. So anyway, there's just more here about that and some embedded videos and so forth. So again, this is on Becker News. I found that one and thought it was, some good additional information. Again, I'll link to that one and all the others in my Substack post. So Kim Jong-un orders North Koreans to stop killing themselves as suicide numbers skyrocket. How is he going to enforce that? He's going to throw people in jail for killing themselves or for attempting to kill themselves? Gosh. Kim Jong-un, a.k.a. Little Rocket Man, has been forced to order his citizens to stop committing suicide after numbers in the country have surged recently. Says, issued a secret order. It's not too secret if I'm reporting it. To local authorities that would ban suicides. They're going to ban suicides after data showed numbers skyrocketing, according to government officials who spoke for Radio Free Asia. Of course, the suicides themselves are a tragic testament to the horrific conditions in North Korea, where starvation and government tyranny are two very regular facts of daily life, which they really want to bring to the U.S. as well. It's unclear just how many suicides are taking place there, though one South Korean intelligence estimate said the number had jumped 40% year over year. Wow. Kim, meanwhile, claimed killing oneself counts as an act of treason against socialism. Wow. Doubtless he sees it that way. If only so many innocent people didn't think it was their only option. It's sad that it has come to that. But I still want to know how he's going to enforce it. What's he going to do? Threaten them with death if they kill themselves? Yeah, so that's on notthebee.com. So is this one. This is just about as intelligent. A scientist thinks he has figured out a way to move the Earth away from the sun so we can keep living on it 1 billion years from now when the sun gets too bright. You might not be aware of it, but the sun is slowly increasing in luminosity, and over the course of the next 1 billion years or so, it will become so bright that the Earth will cease to be able to support life and everything on it will die. Yeah, I know, it's a downer. You can see the mercury flooding out of the thermometer there. Thankfully, though, one intrepid scientist says he's figured out how to keep the party going past 1 billion 2023 AD. An extra 15 days a year, eh? So here's how he's going to do it. At the moment, Earth is orbiting the sun at a distance of 93 million miles, 150 million kilometers, but this needs to extend to at least 96 million miles. This guy says. He's a University of Manchester professor, Albert Zylstra. This movement would extend a year to 380 days, meaning we'd have to insert an extra 15 days into a calendar year somewhere. An extra 15 days a year, eh? Essentially, he proposes that scientists manipulate a massive asteroid, one about 30 miles in diameter or so, to do a slingshot maneuver around the Earth in order to speed up the planet's orbit, which would take it farther away from the sun. Unfortunately, we'd have to do this more than once, and I'm sure it would go right each time he tried it. Anyway, that's how ridiculous it's getting, and Dr. Evil's figured it out. Okay, we just need to send a city-sized asteroid rocketing around our planet 1 million times. That's all. 1 million. Watch. Liberal woman goes viral after complaining how it's hard to find masculine men who aren't conservative. A single woman has made waves for lamenting on TikTok that all the chivalrous masculine men in her dating orbit are conservatives. Isn't that terrible? I just thought that was funny. Major interstate crumbles outside Philly after huge tanker truck bursts into flames. Pretty wild. Portion of I-95 in Philadelphia collapsed early today after a tanker truck caught fire underneath an overpass. So I don't know if you guys saw that, but I mentioned that at the beginning of the broadcast. This is on resistthemainstream.com. Vegas family claims craft crashed in the backyard. I'm sure you guys know about this. I had to bring it up. 9-foot aliens emerged. So there's 9 or 10-foot aliens tromping around this guy's backyard. So do you believe this? We're going to watch a video here in a minute on this. I actually do believe him. I think he's probably telling the truth, just based on the official story and then also his own testimony, which you may not have seen yet. I found a video on that today. A saga of strangeness in Las Vegas. So I think we have some folks in Las Vegas in the chat. Let me know what you guys think about this. Made The Hangover, the sequels, entertaining to audiences around the world. News reports of an alleged alien encounter from Sin City may top that titillating trio of wackiness in the desert. Elvis Presley sightings have been topped by residents reporting 10-foot tall aliens landing in their backyard. Yeah, and it apparently left a depression in the yard. I don't know if it's a yard or if it was the driveway. I'm not real clear on that, but we'll see a video here in a minute. Apparently what happens in Vegas no longer stays in Vegas. They had to put that in there. As the story began trending on social media, could this be the real deal? Body cam footage from Las Vegas Metro captured a suspected UFO soaring across the night sky before a nearby resident called in a report of something 100% not human on their property. Local TV channel 8 News Now reported. A Vegas officer's camera picked up the object at about 11:50 p.m. on April the 30th, and according to the American Meteor Society, its flash was seen as far as Utah and California. And so it was picked up by this body cam, and it was also picked up by some other like ring cameras and things like that. So it definitely happened. Approximately 39 minutes after, another man who lives about 80 miles from Area 51 made a chilling call to 911 saying that there were 2 unknown entities in his backyard after he and his family saw a similar object fall from the sky. Here's the quote. It says, there's like an 8-foot person beside it and another one inside us, and it has big eyes, and it's looking at us, and it's still there, the homeowner told police dispatch, according to audio obtained by the TV channel. So let's watch this video. This is the one that was released that most people have seen. I've seen some other videos about this video, but I think just for a little background, we should probably watch this one. So let's cue this one up here.
Okay, what's going on over there?
Okay, lady. Me, my dad, and my brother, we're working on a truck in our backyard, and we have a big lot outside, right? Correct?
Okay.
We were working, and we just see in a corner of our eye something fall down from the sky, and it was with light. And when it hit down, it was like a big impact, and we felt it. We felt like an energy, and then we hear like a lot of footsteps near us, and then we have a big equipment, and we see, and there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and it's looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
100% not human, he says. It was a little hard to hear. I'm going to fix the audio for that in the final version of this, because it's only in the left channel, so it's a little hard to hear, so my apologies. That's just the way the original video is. So what do you guys think about that? Here's the police report. So, I mean, I think it's true. I mean, I don't really think that the guy's making it up, especially when he wasn't really planning on, calling the police and doing all this stuff. I don't think he's put together some elaborate story and made other people's Ring cameras and police body cameras pick up footage. I don't think it's anything like that at all. So let's look at this. Fact or fiction? I had aliens in my backyard. Las Vegas UFO witness comes forward on YouTube video. So this is the guy. This is him here. A family says that they experienced a close encounter with non-human beings, and police body cam captured UFO streaking through the skies above Las Vegas. Now, more videos emerging. The only thing that's curious to me, though, is the delay in the time from when it happens until now. Why has it been so long? It's been this all happened April 30th into May the 1st. So it was really May the 1st, basically. You'll notice that the police body cam footage was May 1st and time-stamped. And why is it taking this long for this stuff to be released? That's what I don't really understand. Said they had non-human beings in their close encounter here. So more videos emerging. The young man who spoke with dispatchers has come forward publicly, providing more insight into what he says happened in the early morning hours of May 1. This is not a conspiracy theory, he explains on his YouTube video. I'm not making this story up for clout or fame. I just want to tell you what happened to me and my family. I tend to believe him. He says he was working on a truck in his family's backyard when he saw a big light falling from the sky, followed by an impact, a shockwave, and an out-of-body experience. Well, I don't know if he really knows what that means, but I would question that. When I tried to look at the object, it was all blurry, not my vision, but only the backyard area, he explains, and I hear thousands of footsteps around me, thousands. And maybe a couple seconds later, the blurriness was gone. So it sounded like it was messing with his senses somehow. So let's watch this video too. This is, I'm going to crank up the speed just a little bit, just so we can get through it a little faster. Let's watch this at 1.5x, just to save a little bit of time. Now this is the guy whose backyard all this happened in.
Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is my first video. I'm here to tell you what happened to me on May 1st, 2023. I'm going to try to explain the best of my abilities. This is not a conspiracy theory. I'm not making this story out for clout or fame. I just want to tell you what happened to me and my family. And I know some people are not going to believe this, but each person is different. So this is what happened to me. Keep in mind, this is midnight and I'm fixing a truck in my backyard. At this point, I'm only with my brother and I hear something fall from the sky. I turn around, the only thing I see is a big light falling from the sky, and moments after, I feel a big impact and a bang, sort of like a big impact fall. And me and my brother looked at each other, and we were scared, but when the impact happened, it was sort of like a shockwave, like an out-of-body experience. So to say, when I tried to look at the object, it was all blurry, not my vision, but only the backyard area. And I hear thousands of footsteps around me, and maybe a couple seconds later, the blurriness was gone. And here's the footage of the body, the police officer's body cam. And here's the object I'm referring to, the light. Here's a Ring camera video. You can hear the bang. This is around the neighborhood. So here's the video. So when that happened, the only thing I can see in the backyard is a tall creature, probably around 8-10 feet tall, very thin. So I called my dad. He went to the backyard and he saw the same creature I saw. He told me to go inside the house. At this point, we all freaking out, me and my family. And here's the video where we were in the backyard area. You cannot see it too good, but on camera, but it's there. Here's the video. Moments after the video, me and my brother went to go pick up my tools. Then my brother calls me, and he told me shakingly, look behind the forklift. So I look. Keep in mind I'm facing the forklift, and then I see the alien creature. So when I saw it, it was a tall, skinny, lengthy creature. He was a gray, greenish color, and when I looked at it in the eyes, my body just froze. Like the same experience as having sleep paralysis. Keep in mind I'm staring at him, and I look at his whole body, and he has a weird looking feet and a big face and eyes, and you can see a big mouth. And I could hear his loud, deep breathing, and I could see his stomach moving. He would just stare at me. Seconds later, I could start moving again. And I start running towards the house. That's when I call 911, and here's a 911 call.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the police to come, and you could hear footsteps in the backyard area, and a loud whispering, like you could hear whisperings. We were in the living room area. You could hear footsteps on the roof. So we waited a little bit for the police. When they arrived, they told me I told them what I saw, and they were kind of freaked out. Here's the body cam of the officer.
And now, it's more than an hour after that bright light. Officers meeting up with the caller and his family.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard? Or?
They see like a big, that's what they say. They see like a big something with light.
What I saw right now, I do believe in it.
Police walk into the backyard to investigate, but Metro...
So they went in the backyard, and one of the officers pointed at the floor, and it was a perfect circle. Here's a photo of the circle I'm referring to. Keep in mind, 2 officers came in my house, and one of them started running to his car, driving around the neighborhood, asking passing cars if they saw light.
What's clear, they're taking this call seriously.
Hey, this might sound like a really dumb question, but did you guys see anything fall out of the sky?
Asking others what they saw.
I would normally discount it as nothing. However, seeing as one of my partners said they saw it too, only reason I'm actually investigating it further.
Goosebumps and freaking out. He started investigating that he told me his partner, she saw a light falling from the sky. He told me he believed me because her partner reported that she saw the same light as me. Now we're walking the front yard. Then the other officer came here. Here's a video of him talking to my family.
If those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
So, moments before they left, one of the officers told me, if I see the thing again, to don't call him, just shoot him. And you can hear in the video. Here's the video.
If those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
So they left, and we went inside the house, and we started praying. As we're praying, you can hear a loud human-like scream in the backyard. This is what happened to me on May 1st, 2023. I hope you guys kind of understand what happened to me. I know it's hard to believe, but I saw what I saw, and it's kind of going viral. That's why I'm here to explain the story. I did an interview with journalist Doug Papa. I'm going to put his video in the description. I'm going to make a part 2 of the stuff that happened after May 1st, and thank you for watching.
Okay. Well, yeah, you get the idea. So, who knows? Who knows if it's true? I think it's very unusual for sure. And it does seem like the veil is thinning between our world and the unseen world. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't completely discount this, especially when there's so many witnesses and video footage of at least the lights going over, and then you hear the bang. We know that much for sure. So I don't know. I thought it was really interesting. He said when they started praying, then they heard a human scream after that. Well, wonder what that was about. And the footsteps on the roof of the house. Very weird. So anyway, yeah, I saw a couple of other videos that went into quite a bit of, I don't know, as much depth as they could really go into analyzing this particular incident. And they were both Dave Hodges' videos, so you could look up Dave's channel, The Common Sense Show, on YouTube and probably find them. One of them had Tim Alberino in it, and the other one had Ali Marzulli in it. And all guys that I know, and I thought they all did a really good job trying to explain, what they think happened. And I think it's certainly worth a watch if you guys have the time and want to devote any more attention to this. So I thought it was pretty interesting. And this video here on this page that we just watched was new information to me. So this just came out actually earlier today. I saw this and thought it was kind of interesting just because I hadn't heard anything about John Lennon in like forever. New evidence. In John Lennon's murder, Singer was shot with 2 different types of bullets. Boy, that gunman was pretty talented. 2 different guns may have been used on the December 8th, 1980 shooting of John Lennon. According to a British author and TV producer, David Whalen, 2 different types of bullets were removed from Lennon's body during the autopsy. Why are we just now hearing this? It's 2023. He was killed in 1980. I've been right there, by the way, right where Lennon was shot in New York. And they have a big mural thing in the ground has the word imagine in it. And not right where the hotel is, but over in Central Park, just across the street. So anyway, this is saying that 2 different bullets were removed from Lennon's body. One was marked as a semi-wide cutter or hollow point, while the other was a 38 cal lead bullet. So 2 shooters. Man, I had no idea. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. We have a few Third Temple things that I had come across just to bring your attention to it a little bit if you're interested, and I'll link to these things in my Substack post like everything else that we're going through tonight. The 10th red heifer. I was looking to see what's going on with the red heifers. You guys know about the they need red heifers in order to sacrifice one of them and have the ashes, for the Third Temple and so forth, which they're not actually building yet, but they want to as soon as possible. So I was looking to see what the update was on the red heifers. I came across this article. And this is really mostly about not so much the ones that they have as much as it is about the 10th red heifer that will be prepared by the Messiah. So that's kind of interesting. Says if there's been no red heifer for the past 2,000 years, perhaps it's because the time was not right. Israel was far from being ready. But now, what could it mean for the times we live in? To have the means for purification so close at hand. So if you guys don't know, the way I understand it at least is that the Jewish people as a whole, at least the believers anyway, practicing Jews, I guess, they're looking for purification as a group. Whereas Christians, we go individually to Jesus. We ask Jesus for forgiveness for our sins individually. Whereas the Jewish people, apparently it's the entire group. So that's why, because they've had no temple, and they're obviously not ones that believe in Jesus, so their sins have not been forgiven. But it's as a group, not just the individual. So that's what the red heifer has to do with all that, how that plays into the Third Temple and the sacrifices and so forth, animal sacrifices. So it says, but now, what could it mean for the times we are in to have the means of purification so close at hand? With the words of Maimonides in mind, we cannot help but wonder and pray if there are now red heifers, is ours the era that will need them? I would say that it probably is, because I think the Third Temple is not going to be too far off at this point. And so this article is really primarily about the history of the heifers, and I think they had 5 initially that were brought over to Israel from Texas, and I think they've already ruled one out because it developed some non-red hairs. So they've already taken one out. Who knows what they did with the one? But I think they're down to 4 at this point. But there's still like a year or something like that. They have to be a certain age or whatever. But the article covers that if you want to look at that. Again, link to on the Substack post. Likud MK presents plan to divide Temple Mount between Jews and Muslims. That won't be a problem. No, not at all. Anyway, here's a whole article on that. I don't know that that's going to happen. I sort of, the way I envision this working out, and I made a whole video on the third temple and what I think will happen and how they're going to build it. They're going to, when they do have a chance to build it, they're going to build it in the wrong place. The original place, in my opinion, and from what I can tell, would look like it was in the city of David. It's where the first two were. They were both demolished on the 9th of Av, different years, hundreds of years apart. And the third temple, though, I think they're going to build it on Temple Mount, which is actually an old Roman fortress. They're going to put it there. And but what's going to happen, I think, though, I think there was probably going to be some sort of divine intervention, maybe an earthquake or something like that, that will either take out or damage what's there now so that they can then level it and build the third temple. Because if you've seen the plans on what they want to build and the structure, I did find a couple of videos on that, which we're not going to watch tonight, but I could just point you to them if you are interested in it. This templeinstitute.org, I've been on their email list for a long time just because I'm really interested in end times prophecy and you know, Jerusalem and Israel is right in the center of it. So, but you can see this model right here. This is what they have in mind for the temple. It's pretty darn big, and I don't know how you could divide the Temple Mount and have room for this huge building area, and then also on top of that, the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. So I don't know. I'm not sure, but I guess we'll see what happens. But this templeinstitute.org website is pretty interesting, and this video is on their YouTube channel. And I just have a still image here. This is a computer rendering of what the Holy Temple will look like on the inside. And this is from a few years ago, actually. This particular video. It's called "The Third Holy Temple Plans Have Begun." It's dated 2015. So let's talk about just the plans. So walk through the main sanctuary of the Holy Temple, showcasing decades of research and tens of innovative halachic solutions to various perplexing issues that were resolved to create fully functional, ready-to-use plans. As the visual tour sweeps through the sanctuary, one can see the menorah, incense altar, and showbread table, all of which have already been prepared by the Institute among 70 other sacred vessels. The presentation was specially released to coincide with the 9th of Av at the Jewish National Day of Mourning, which commemorates the destruction of the first and second temples, which again were in the city of David, not on Temple Mount. But that doesn't seem to matter, because their tradition outweighs the actual truth and history, from what I can tell. So anyway, but it's referencing the menorah, the altar, and the showbread table, the incense altar, and the showbread table. I know for a fact that the menorah and the showbread table of showbread, were found and are in the cave temple that God arranged to have set up, that Ron Wyatt has reported on. So that is already there. It's been found. It's just that it can't be touched because it's right next to the Ark of the Covenant, and none of the stuff that's in that cave temple room can be accessed right now. I think at some point in the very near future, God will allow some sort of earthquake or something to happen to bring down the wall between where it's blocked off and where it actually is, because people know how to get to it. It's in the Zedekiah Cave. So Zedekiah's Cave is where it's all at. Ron Wyatt found it all back in the 80s and early 90s, and he made many reports on it before his death in 1999. So, it's all there. So whether or not they use what they've already created here, a new menorah, incense altar, and showbread table, they've got to have the original ark. And the Israeli Antiquities knows where the ark is. I don't know if they know that those other items are in there or not. They probably do. I mean, again, if I know it, they probably know it. So, but the Ark of the Covenant is there, and they've tried to move it already, and people who go in to try and move it have died. So that happened back when Ron Wyatt was alive. He told stories about that, how that he personally had to go in and rescue these, basically pull these dead bodies out of there, And I made videos on this. This is on my End Times Date series if you're interested in all this stuff. I think it's fascinating. But anyways, just know that those videos do exist if you're interested in looking at it. I'm not sure even which video it is in my End Times Date series. I'll find it though and link to it in my Substack post for tomorrow. I do find it very interesting though, and I'll link to this video too so you can watch this. But it's pretty wild. You know, they have it all planned out. They have all the stuff that's going to go in it. It's a question of how are they going to have room for all of this on the Temple Mount in addition to the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. To me, something's got to happen. I don't know what, if it's going to be some sort of war situation that will take those buildings out or damage them. Most likely it's damage is what you're looking at, I would think. But they still have to get possession of the Temple Mount back. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. Might be part of a peace offering somehow between the Israelis and the Zionist Israel, state of Israel, and then Palestine or Jordan, or I don't know. I'm not sure, but it is very interesting for sure. I think we're right there on the precipice. Israelis set for a new Jewish temple on Al-Aqsa site. So this is another article. It says, with imported sacrificial cows, meaning the red heifers, ancient hymns, and growing support, some nationalist Jews hope to rebuild their temple in Jerusalem's Old City at a site at the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian tensions. So, again, another article. It's just a matter of time, it says. But, yeah, I think we're not far away. There's red heifer there. I guess that's probably an older one, maybe. I don't know. Feel free to look at this if you want to. This is on France 24, actually. That's where this particular article is, and we'll link to this one as well tomorrow. Now, back to the fires for just a second. We were talking about wildfires as a weapon. This is the article that was referenced in that, I think it was Vaccine Impact article. This was what was linked to. Wildfires as a weapon. This is one of Dane Wigginton's articles on geoengineeringwatch.org. By the way, I got a new, I was doing a test for Dane on purchasing a bumper sticker. We just wanted to make sure the mechanism worked. And he actually shipped it to me. This is what it looks like. Here, let me see if I can. This is what it looks like. Pretty cool. Stop toxic climate engineering. Aluminum, barium, strontium, poisoning our skies. So it's a bumper sticker. I mean, you can put this on anything, though. Really, it's pretty good size, as you can see. Put it on a bumper, or you can put it on something else. I think it was $5, something like that. So get you a sticker and support what Dane's doing. Pretty cool. You just go to right here at the top of the page, T-shirts, cards, and bumper stickers. And I think if you order one, he will throw in a few cards and no T-shirts, but he'll throw in a few cards and some other brochures and flyers and things with your order. So that's what he did with mine anyway. And I was just ordering one as a test just to see if it worked. And yeah, it's all working good. So feel free to do that. It's it's set up with PayPal, so you can use PayPal if you want, or you can just use a credit card like I did and bypass PayPal because I don't have PayPal. Wildfires as a weapon, U.S. military exposed. So this article, though, is from August of last year, so it's almost a year old. Is the military-industrial complex insane enough to incinerate Earth's latest remaining forests in order to achieve the objectives of the global controllers? Yeah, that's what's going on. Formerly classified U.S. military document titled Forest Fire as a Military Weapon is a truly shocking expose of planned scorched earth destruction. The U.S. Forest Service actually participated in the research and planning that went into this military instruction manual for carrying out orchestrated forest fire catastrophes. What part have the climate intervention operations played in the preparation of forests for extreme and unprecedented incineration all over the world? The short video below reveals the shocking degree of research that the U.S. military and U.S. Forest Service has put into preparing forests for extreme incineration. So there it is right here. Here's the PDF document. It's all right there. And there's a video about it. So feel free to take a look at that. Geoengineeringwatch.org is where that is. And then this weekend's show was also similar idea. Smoke Apocalypse. The completely unprecedented Canadian wildfire incinerations are creating and feeding a massive solar radiation management smoke apocalypse that has covered the majority of the North American continent. Does this scenario serve primary stated objectives of climate engineering operations? The short answer is yes. On the other side of the world, record-shattering heat is fueling fires in Siberia. I heard about this earlier. I think it was today or yesterday. Somebody sent me an article about this, how hot it is in Siberia. Sea ice in both polar regions is at a record low levels, with ocean temperatures escalating at blinding speed. Above it all, climate intervention operations are raging. What happens now? So yeah, that's the latest installment of Geoengineering Watch Radio, which is actually called Global Alert News at this point. So feel free to listen to that. It's always highly informative. Mr. Dane's broadcasts are. And again, I'm glad he's reaching a lot of people these days. He's reaching quite a few on YouTube and over the internet, but he's reaching far more on terrestrial radio now, which is awesome. He's on 20-some radio stations across the country, which is really good. This is the End Times Events sort of layout that I have come up with several months ago at this point. I haven't really gone into it again lately, but I wanted to just bring your attention to it only because I made a couple of adjustments to it today. It came up in response to some questions that came in on Facebook, and I realized I needed to update a couple things just because things are starting to sort of play out in a way that it's really making me think that a lot of this is going to actually develop in real life, unfortunately. And I've had a few more things that I wanted to add here, not really new blocks, but just additional information in the existing blocks. This particular one is the first one that I adjusted. Third temple construction begins. I had July 2023 question mark. I'm sort of thinking that that's probably not the case because we're only a month out at this point, but that was estimated based on the 18-month construction before January 2025, which, going back to the End Times Dates timeline right here, January 2025 is when it looks to me like that's when the Antichrist reign would begin, January 2025, based on Jesus returning. Feast of Trumpets, September 2028. That's the 3.5 years, you see. So that is, if you go back 18 months prior to January 2025, then you get July this year. So I don't know. Who knows? I mean, we'll see what happens in July. As I mentioned on my Facebook page a few days ago, I got a lot of good comments on it, actually, was that everybody seems to know what June is, right? June is Pride Month. And we know that Pride comes before the fall, which means July should be a very interesting month. If Pride comes before the fall, meaning June, that means July should be interesting, right? So I don't know. I'm not saying that this is definitely going to happen. I just think from an 18-month standpoint, they're going to need about that long to build the third temple. To me, it needs to be in place probably by early 2025. So I don't know. Maybe it's not an 18-month build. I have no idea. But I picked 18 because it seems like that would be possible, and it's very possible, I think, too, that it could work out that way because it's 666, 18. 6 plus 6 plus 6. So anyway, I added a little bit to that block, and then the only other ones that I changed, let me see here. Let me scroll this way. This one, DM-based system, I think I had originally that it was going to be Diem. I still think it's going to be the Diem-based system. I just don't know if the one world currency will be called Diem. It may be called something else. But like Anthony Patch says, I do agree with what he's saying, that that it will be based around a Diem type of system that's transactional based. It has to be. Whether or not it's called that, who knows? But I did adjust this block just slightly and added a little bit more text there. And then the only other ones I changed, let's see here. New religion begins based on the green agenda. I added that line, which is just something that I was already saying, based on the Sunday climate lockdowns that I think we're going to be in for, unfortunately. And I added on this one, the biblical Antichrist will most likely be King Charles III. I added that little line to that block. But other than that, I think all the blocks are the same other than those 3 or 4 that I updated slightly. So feel free to look at this. I link to this, I think, pretty much every week in my Substack that I send out. kind of interesting. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, these blocks are all movable, so I can move them around and change them at will. So that's really why I came up with this design here on Canva, so we can do that. All right, I think that was pretty much it. So there's the Substack. If you guys want to sign up for that, that's a free email list. You just join that and then get the email blast tomorrow when I send it out with everything on it. Here's the t-shirts I mentioned earlier, the shop. This is the one I bought right here, the one she's sporting. They're unisex or whatever, where you can wear them if you're transgender or if you're one gender. But the one I got, I think, it's more of a navy colored, but I got the long sleeve one. But yeah, they seem to be made pretty well. So there's some different options there, different colors and so forth, if you're so inclined. And here is the Telegram channel, Diamond Report on Telegram. It's t.me/The Diamond Report, and I do put some extra special stuff on there every now and then. I don't really do it all the time, but I do, like today I did not do a pre-show broadcast, but every now and then, maybe once, twice a month or so, I will do a pre-show thing where I'm going through the news, trying to decide what I want to talk about, and I'll actually do a live stream to Telegram, and anybody who's there is free to join in as well, and then also run that on DLive, which is my other backup channel. So yeah, Telegram's really good. I enjoy it, and we do some special stuff for Telegram followers on Lost Arts Radio as well. So feel free to look us up on there. End Times Dates on Telegram as well, and there is the YouTube channel, which a few more people subscribe, so thank you guys for doing that. And then there's Rumble and BitChute, Diamond Disc on those places, and Brighteon as well. ClickView. Anyway, okay, well, I guess we can wrap it up then. God bless you guys. Thank you for being here tonight and hanging out with me all night. It's been a little while. We've been going quite a while. So I'll probably end up cutting some of this down, unfortunately, just because I don't want to make it too long and people won't watch it. But anyway, thanks for being here, you guys. Have a great night, and we will talk to you guys again very soon.